Family, shalom, shalom. I just want to do a really quick live and I want to talk about something. So, we was doing a lot of studying on genetics and I had noticed something really interesting with genetics concerning the E group, like E1B1A and E1B1B. I noticed that they linked to a group that was P2 called E1B1. And I just want to talk about something real fast if I get the chance. Let's see if this note opens real fast. But I want to make a conclusion here. After doing all the studying on these things, I came to a conclusion that based out of all the haplogroups, E haplogroup shows a more potential to be linked to the what's the word I'm looking for? The Abrahamic lineages. For example, I'm going to show you just two quotes from geneticists. For example, here we was talking about this from Ancient Origins. You can see what it said here on Ancient Origins. It'll tell you right here. I hope the screen is showing. You can see this individual would be Dr. Aaron Elhak. He actually makes a conclusion and he says, as I had talked about before, that E1B1 are typically the Israelites, right? Now, there's a video that came out just recently by another geneticist, and this is a really interesting geneticist. I keep watch of him. He was talking on ancient origins and things like that. But I want you to hear what he says. It's really interesting.
So I think E is probably more likely to be Afroasiatic, and they had high frequencies in Arabian, Syrians, and Israelites.
Okay. All right.
Wait, you mean E1B1A or E1B1B when you say that?
I don't know all of those off the top of my head. Also, when you go back far enough, you're not going to get those divisions because it's you're going up the tree, so it will converge, right? So it would be E1B1 star at some point, and I don't know.
So he makes a conclusion, just like how Dr. Aaron Elhak, because this is a geneticist. This person right here that's talking is a geneticist. Dr. Aaron Elhak concludes that E1B1 is a group that would be considered linked to the ancient Israelites. This one also makes a conclusion of E1B1 being a link to the ancient Israelites.
When that is.
Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. So you don't know the exact mutations. You don't know.
Yeah, because some of the mutations are recent. So you'll see stars sometimes.
Okay. All right. Does the 93 you finish, or you wanted to?
All right. So with that concluded, I just want you to understand that when we went over genetics and the geneticists and what they say and everything, a lot of times when we look at these ancient groups, we like to look at ancient origins. And not a lot of people think about this, but the Natufian finds are important. They're quite important. And then going all the way to the time of the pre-pottery Neolithic time frame. I mean, just look at the route. Look at the route of Abraham. Just look at the route of Abraham, right? You can see, remember, Abraham left from Ur, right? He went to the area where his family was, and then he went to Egypt, right? And notice the lines. Notice how the lines are, right? Notice how he moves. Abraham does that, right? From the area that's up here, Isaac does that. Jacob does that. Notice these points, these areas, right? Notice this map. And then look at the Neolithic time frame. Look at how it looks. The genetics in that time is the E group. Look at how it looks, right? It goes down to here, it goes to here, and it goes over here. It goes to the areas of all across where you see the Euphrates, right over in these areas. And then it goes down to where you see Mount Sinai and things like that, right? That's really interesting because if you consider that and understanding all that's concluding that, yes, you have to consider the E group that it is, linked to at least potentially, and it requires someone to look into it a little more deeper, that the E group does show itself to be proper Shemites. So I just wanted to talk about that. That's why we went over those things. And if you want to know a little more about the Natufian, I put a video in the description. It will be basically how we went over the Natufian and everything. So I just wanted to talk about that. I thought that was interesting. So the person, like I said, this person is a geneticist, person right there. I sometimes watch him he's an individual that I think is kind of he talked about some interesting things. He's on this channel, and he had talked about how basically the J group was the sea peoples that came down. They were the Canaanites, or today considered the Canaanites that settled in Sidon, which not a lot of people what's the word I'm looking for know about that or look into that. But I think it's interesting. I think those type of things are interesting. But here he is, right here.
Should compare
You can see this individual. So I just wanted to show that. I thought that was really interesting. So that family. If you have any questions, I want to know if you have any questions concerning that. But I just want to make a quick live on that, a quick 5-minute live. But I want to stop at, I guess, 5:55. So with that.